Welcome you all to our third class of real number. So here I categorize real number into two parts. One is fractional, another is decimal. Means they are two interconvertible forms. Okay. So the decimal form, one first form is the terminating decimal. Terminating means the remainder will come 0, and the second one it is non-terminating decimal, means the never the remainder will come 0. And the non-terminating decimal is again divided into two types. One is non-terminating recurring. Recurring means the remainder may not come 0, but in the quotient we will get the same digit repeated. For example, 3.13131313, and the next one is non-terminating non-recurring. It will not terminate, means remainder will not come 0, but contradicting to the first type, also the in the quotient will not get any digit in a cyclic manner, means it will not come 3.121212, it may come 3.12345125967, just like in a random manner. In total, the decimal form of real number are three types: terminating, non-terminating recurring, non-terminating non-recurring. And the first two types can be converted to the rational numbers in the form of p by q, whereas the latter one, the third one, it can't be converted in the form of p by q, so it is irrational number. So today we will discuss completely on irrational number. So some example of irrational numbers are given: 3.295759257, and it is one type of non-terminating. So it is not terminating, means dot dot dot, it is going on. Then non-recurring is nothing is repeated, means there is not a cyclic order of the digits. And the next one is also like that: 15.12578 dot 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 dot. Next is pi. You may say, sir, pi is 3.14, we know it is terminating, and also it has fractional form, decimal form 22/7. But the actual point is pi, it is a ratio, it is the ratio of the circumference of circle and the radius of the circle. And whenever we are getting it, always we are getting a fixed amount, so we call it a constant. But this value is not exactly 3.14, this is 3.1592 dot dot dot, many digits are there, but we take up to maximum 2 decimal expansion, so we remember it as 3.14. But in exact, this is not a terminating one, this can be expanded to 18 or many more places, it is never a terminating. Square root of non-square numbers are also irrational numbers. Square numbers, you know, 2 square, 4, 9, 16, 25, 100. So all are the square numbers. So its square root are rational numbers. But the square root of non-square numbers, for example 6, 8, 2, all its square root. For example, square root of 2 means root 2, root 8, root 6, root 11. So all these numbers are irrational numbers. As you know, all the prime numbers are not square numbers. So the square root of all prime numbers are also irrational. For example, root 2, root 3, root 5, root 7, root 11. So all these are the irrational numbers, and we have to prove it. Square root of all prime numbers are irrational numbers. It is the very important questions from this chapter. So before proving it, we should know some basic concepts which will help us when we will prove this square root of the prime numbers are irrational. For example, here we will prove root 2 is irrational. Okay, so before that we should know the basic concept. So that is written in note. So this is also a theorem, this is theorem 1.3, but here the proof of theorem or the remembering the theorem is not important, just we should know this concept which will help us in proving. Okay, so it is saying let p be a prime number if p divides a square, then p divides a, where a is a positive integer. If simply in short I will say, it is if a prime number divides a square number, then also the prime number will divide the square root of the square number, means the number. if a prime number p divides a square, p also divides a. So the proof is not required, but little bit we'll try to understand this. Let a be a positive integers, then I am prime factorizing a as p1 p2 means they are different primes, so up to pn there may be many prime numbers. And when I will make it a square, means square of p1 p2 p3 dot pn square, then if I will open the bracket, then each and individual numbers will be squared up, just like a square equals to p1 square into p2 square into p3 square dot up to pn square. Now you can see all the primes are multiplied twice to get the square, and hence all are multiplied once to get the numbers. For example, if I will say 2 and 3 are multiplied twice, 2 into 2 4, 3 into 3 9, 4 into 9 to get 36 means 6 square, whereas 2 and 3 are multiplied once, 2 into 3 to get 6. So as p divides a square, means if p is in a square, definitely p is also in the prime factorization of a. So this is very important to know for us. So if p is a factor of a square, p is also a factor of a. So for example purpose that I have already said, 36 equal to 6 square. So here is 2 in the factorization. So 2 is a factor of 36. So definitely 2 is a factor of 6 also. So there may be a doubt in your mind, sir, 4 equals to 2 square equals to 4 into 1. 4 divides 2 square. So 4 should divide 2, no, wrong. So just when you think why, here the concept is 4 is not a prime number, 4 is composite. So we are talking about primes. If a prime number divides a square, so also the prime number will divide a. Now we will go to our proof, very important proof, root 2 is a rational number. So for short you may say, we have also discussed in irrational number. So root 2, so root 2 equals to, it can be root 2 by 1, nothing in denominator, so it is root 2 by 1. So it is in the form of p by q, so it is rational. But the point is root 2 integer? You will say no sir, root 2 is not integer, so root 2 is not rational number. So you can say like that within in one line, but the problem is how you know that root is not integer. So that we have discussed for example purpose in earlier class, but here we will solve this through the method of contradiction. Contradiction means opposite, opposing one's statement. So let's assume to the contrary that root 2 is rational. To the contrary means here it is given to prove root 2 is irrational. Contrary, opposing to the point which is given, we will assume root 2 is rational. Here irrational to prove, but we are taking rational. So if root 2 is rational, it should be written in the form of p by q, where pq belongs to z and q is not equals to 0. So as pq is in rational form, you know there is a standard form. So what is standard form? So if pq have some common factor except once, just like 6 by 10 they have common factor 2. So if we will divide both the numerator and denominator p and q by their HCF, then we will get the standard form, and where they are in co-primes, we have discussed in class 8. So to get the standard form of a rational number, we will divide it by HCF, and here both the numerator and denominator will be co-primes. Then by cross multiplication I will find the value of a. So a equals to root 2 b. Then I will make square on both the sides, so that I will get a square equals to 2b square. This is equation 1. So it is not mandatory to give the equation, but if I will give the equation, it is easier for me to conclude. Okay. So next, a square equals to 2b square. I can write a square equals to 2 into b square. So 2 is a factor. So I can say 2 divides a square. So as for the note I have discussed before the question, or you can call it theorem 1.3. So as 2 divides a square, 2 will also divide a. So this is equation 2. So as 2 divides a, I can write a equals to 2 into something. For example, you can say 2 divides 6. That means 6 equals to 2 into something. Plus as it is divides, that means the remainder is 0. So as I am saying 2 is a factor of a, or 2 divides a. So, a equals to 2 into something, that something be c. So, I can say a equals to 2c. Then putting this value of a in equation 1. So, equation 1 we have written a square equals to 2b square. So, in place of a I will write 2c. So, 2c whole square equals to 2b square. So, by simplifying it we are getting 4c square equals to 2b square and 2c square equals to b square. So, where b square equals to 2 into c square, that means 2 divides b square, also 2 divides b. Let it write equation 3. And similarly one equation earlier we have written, what is that? 2 divides a. Now I am saying 2 divides b, means 2 divides both a and v. So, from equation 2 and 3, 2 divides both a and v, which indicates that 2 is the factor of a, 2 is the factor of v, means 2 and v both have the common factor 2, means they are not co-primes. But this contradicts the fact that a or b co-primes. Already in the earlier steps we have written a root 2 equals to a by b, where a and b are co-primes. But now what we are observing, what we are getting, a and b are not co-primes. So, this is contradicting each other. Contradicting means opposing. One statement earlier we have written, but with when we are going with that statement we are getting such a statement which is contradicting and opposing the previous one. And why this contradiction is arising? This contradiction has arisen due to the incorrect or wrong assumption. So, what wrong assumption we have taken? That root 2 is rational. So, this is wrong. So, what is correct? So, root 2 is irrational. So, I can write that we conclude root 2 is irrational. Now, let us again revise the important points of this proof. So, what we did first? We first taken root 2 as rational, means root 2 equals to p by q. So, next we have written it as a by b, where a and b are co-primes. We got the value of a, and from where we got the value of a square. So, what is the motto? To get that 2 is a factor of a. So, the first important point, we got 2 is a factor of a, and as 2 is a factor of a, as 2 divides a, so a equals to 2 into something, so a equals to 2c. So, now substituting this value of a equals to 2c in the previous one, that is a square equals to 2b square, we got 2c whole square equals to 2b square, from where I got b square equals to 2c square. Again what I am getting from here? 2 is a factor of b square, that means 2 is a factor of b. So, there are 3 important steps. First is by squaring we will get the value of a square, then from there we will get that 2 divides a, then substituting the value in the equation 1 we will get b square equals to something. So, 2 divides b, 2 divides a, 2 divides b. So, 2 is a common factor which will contradict and our assumption will be wrong. So, root 2 is irrational. So, these are the key points, 3 to 4 steps. When we will understand, it will be easy for us. So, this is how we proved how to prove that the square root of prime numbers, means root 2, root 3, root 5, root 7, root 11, root 13 are irrational numbers. So, next is we have to prove the association of root 2 or root 3 or root 5 with other rational numbers, means 5 plus root 2, 8 minus root 2, 9 into root 2, 10 divided by root 2, means these will be either added, subtracted, multiplied or divided with other rational numbers, and how to prove that. So, now let us see one question of this type. So, this is so that 5 minus root 3 is irrational. So, just like the previous one we will write it. Let us assume that 5 minus root 3 is rational. Here we have to prove irrational, we take it 5 minus root 3 is rational. So, 5 minus root 3 equals to p by q. Then you may convert it to a and b, where a and b are co-primes, or you may write it as it is, no problem. So, here the key step is we have to find out the previous known irrational number, because from the previous proof already you know that root 2, root 3, root 5, root 7, root 11, all these are irrational. So here our first step is to separate that. So 5 minus root 3, here root 3 I know, so I will keep it in one place. So 5 will be go to that part and will be subtracted. So this is minus root 3. So to make it plus, to make it only root 3, so write root 3, then everyone's symbol will be changed. So minus 5 will be 5, pq will be minus p by q. So it is root 3 equals to 5 minus p by q. So this is first step. I will write it as in the form of p by q, then from there I will separate the previously known irrational numbers. So now you can check in the right hand side, it is 5 minus p by q. Already you know 5 is a rational number. Then p and q you have written here, p and q are integers and p by q is a rational number. 5 is a rational number, p by q is a rational number. So the closure property of rational number we know, when we will subtract or differentiate two rational number, the result is always a rational number. So that 5 minus pq is also a rational number, and in between root 3 and 5 minus p by q there is the equal symbol is there. So if the right hand side is a rational number, so definitely the left hand side, that means root 3 is rational. But this contradicts the fact that root 3 is irrational. Now we are getting root 3 is rational, but already we have proved that root 3 is irrational. So this contradiction, why this contradiction means one statement is opposing to each other because of our wrong assumption. So what was our wrong assumption? We have taken 5 minus root 3 as rational. So if it is wrong, what will be true? 5 minus root 3 is irrational. So we conclude 5 minus root 3 is irrational. Similarly, as in this case the irrational number root 3 subtracted, it may be either added or it may be multiplied, may be divided, or may be added or multiplied both. For example, 3 plus 2 root 5. So your root 5 is multiplied with 2, then is added with 3. So no problem, there any types of question may come. We have to follow very simple steps. So first we will equalize the given number to p by q, then we will separate the irrational number present here. Irrational means the to the specific, the square root of the prime numbers. Then in the others I will keep it in one side, in the other side I will write all the other rational numbers, and the operations plus minus multiplication division with the rational numbers, I will get the rational numbers in that side. When I will equalize to the other side where irrational number is, so that must be also rational, and here the contradiction will arise and will. Here we complete all the concepts before 1.3 exercise. Now you can check exercise 1.3, you can solve almost all the questions by the simple steps. Now we will move towards the decimal expansion of real number. As again we will, as discussed in the earlier of the class. So decimal form, there are total 3 forms. One is terminating decimal, the next is non-terminating recurring, next non-terminating non-recurring, and the first 2 types are rational numbers, whereas the last non-terminating non-recurring gives us the irrational number. If you will recall, in our earlier classes, we are converting the fractions to decimals. For example, it is 3 by 10, we are writing the numerator 3 or 03, then how many decimals, how many zeros in the denominator with 1, it is 10, and from the right side we are putting 1 decimals, that's 0.3. For example, 3259 by 100, so 20. So from right side we are putting 2 decimals, and the best way to convert the fraction to decimal when the denominator is 10 or 100 or 1000. So we need the denominator to be 10, 100, 1000, 10,000 something, means the exponent of the power of 10. 10 to the power 1 is 10, 10 to the power 2 is 100, 10 to the power cube is 1000. But keep in mind, not multiple of 10, not like 20, 30, 40. If it is 25 by 30, we can convert it to decimal easily. It should be exponent of 10, power of 10. As we just discussed, the denominator should be 10 to the power something. So let it be 10 to the power n. So if we will convert 10, so 10 is 2 into 5. So 10 to the power n means 2 into 5 to the power n. So there may be difference of power exponent of 2 and 5, but there should be 2 to the power something and m to the power, sorry, 5 to the power something. So I have written factorizing 10 100,000, that may be 2 into 5, 2 square into 5 square, just like, and only factor, prime factor is 2 and 5. So it is 2 raised to the power m into 5 raised to the power n. And here the important point is there should not be any other factor except 2 and 5. So there should be only 2 and 5, but their exponent may vary. So this concept is also in the form of theorem. Remembering the theorem and the proof is not important, only we need to know the concept. Okay, so it is saying let x be a rational number whose decimal expansion terminates, means if terminates, then the denominator must be in the form of 2 raised to the power m, 5 raised to the power n. And there is also another theorem which is opposite of this. It is saying if terminates, then in the form of 2 raised to the power m, 5 raised to the power n. The next theorem, theorem 1.6, is saying if the denominator is in the form of 2 raised to the power m, 5 raised to the power n, then the decimal expansion definitely will terminate. Means first theorem is saying if terminates, in the denominator it will be 2 raised to the power m into 5 raised to the power n. And the next one is saying if the denominator is 2 raised to the power m, 5 raised to the power n, then the decimal expansion will terminate. So in short, I have written, so rational number, there are two types. The denominator q may in the form of 2 raised to the power m, 5 raised to the power n. If it is in this form, then it is terminating decimal. But if q is not in the form of 2 raised to the power m, 5 raised to the power n, then it is non-terminating. Okay, very simple. If in the form of 2 raised to the power m, 5 raised to the power n, terminating. If not, then non-terminating, recurring. Okay, then you will say, sir, what for irrational number? Then the irrational number, there is not even in the form of p by q. So that is non-terminating, non-recurring. We have just discussed if the denominator is in the form of 2 raised to the power m, 5 raised to the power n, then it is terminating. Next we will discuss if it is in the form, how to get the terminating decimal. So for example, here I have given 2 by 5. So this is 2 by the 5. You will say, sir, this is not in the form of 2 raised to the power m. Okay, so this is 5 into 1. 1 means 2 raised to the power 0 into 5 to the power 1. So this is 5 to the power 1. I need also 2 to the power 1. So I will multiply 2 to the power in the denominator as well as in the numerator. So it will be, the numerator will be 2 into 2 4 and the denominator will be 10. Similarly 5 by 25. So it is, the denominator is 25, means 5 square. So I will multiply it here 2 square, means 25 into 4 is 100. Here 5 into 4 is 20. So if something is lacking in the denominator, I will multiply that exponent of 2 or 5 and also in the numerator to get the denominator as 10 to the power something. But if there is a single prime number except 2 and 5, that means there may be 3, 7, 11 or 13 in the denominator, then that can't be converted to terminating this decimal, that will be non-terminating. Now we will go to our exercise 1.4. Here the question is saying check whether the rational number p by q form is terminating or non-terminating. Just you will check the denominator. Okay, no need to go to the exact division process, just you will check the denominator. If there is only the factors of 2 and 5, then it is terminating. If there is some extra factor 3, 5, 3, 7, 11, 13, 31, then this is non-terminating. So then we will go to question number 2. It is saying if they are terminating, then find the terminating decimal. So here we will check if terminating means if there is no other factors except 2 and 5, how to make it terminating decimal. So it is in the form of 2 to the power something into 5 to the power something. So we will try to make both the exponents of 2 and 5 same. You may think why? Now, if a to the power m into b to the power m equals to ab raised to the power whole m. So if the exponent will be same, then the bases will be multiplied. So whatever is the lower exponent will make it equal to the higher. For example, 2 raised to the power 3 into 5 raised to the power 2. So 3 is the highest. So we will try to make 5 raised to the power 3. So for this I need to multiply 5 to the power 1 in the denominator. So make it equal. Also I will multiply 5 in the numerator. So the denominator is 2 cube into 5 cube. 2 and 5 are multiplied, 10 raised to the power cube means 1000. Then easily I can find the terminating one. So next, if we will check the question number 3, so there are 3 decimals. You have to note something on those aspects. So either they are terminating or non-terminating recurring or non-terminating non-recurring. So this is all of our third class of real number. So thank you all.